one more thing. I'm sure you can find your way and don't want me fussing over you, but in case something happens, you should take your father's old Wayfinder. Thanks! I'll take good care of it.
Just be careful, and come back in one piece.
What is that? Is someone... Whoa! Stay back! Okay. Wasn't expecting that. I wonder if they got something to do with what's going on. Guess this is it? Unless this Wayfinder led me to some old owlbear den. Okay then.
Why do you do this? Release me!
What was that?
As you reach for the coin that seemed to suck the life from Endan Dravair, you note a crack running down its face. Whatever these people want with it, you doubt they should have it. The moment you touch the metallic surface, though, a jolt of energy sears through your fingers and up your arm, followed by a sense of pressure, as if the ocean's tide were rushing into your flesh. Recoiling, the coin is adhered to your fingertips, bound there even as you feel that the force pouring from it stretches your skin and crushes your bones, threatening to rupture and burst your entire body. Other than your body, though, it is the coin that bursts, erupting into shards of metal as the same light that flowed into it earlier streams into you. The physical pain abates, though something continues to press on your mind, clawing its way into your thoughts and filling your skull as the world around you distorts and turns insensible, chaotic, and then, finally, dark.
What happened? Where is...
Who are you? What have you done to me?
I don't know.
Answer me!
Please, stop! Who are you? What are you doing to me?
Who am... I will ask again. Who are you?
Your cave? Who or what are you?
Do not play games, child. I am Endan Dravaer, and you will answer my questions.
My name's Katra. I live in the nearby village. You're saying you're the dragon?
Do not play games with me, child. Now answer my questions. What happened in my cave and...
I wasn't with those people, and I only saw the last part, when that weird coin started doing something. It looked like they were pulling something out of you, and then some thing was put into your body. I thought they'd killed you.
They might have.
Did you see anything? I think I was unconscious for a while, but I must have walked to get back here, right?
I only came back to consciousness when you were calling for your parents.
What do you remember?
I remember. They must have trapped my soul in that coin. I have heard of artifacts that can do such. I had never expected that it would be so painful, though. It felt like I was being torn and pulled apart, then crushed until I could not even tell what part of my body I was feeling. I suppose, though, that I was not feeling my body at all. After that, I saw the thing seeping out of my body, but I could not see if I was breathing. Everything after is unclear. It hurts to remember. I was still reeling when the next thing I clearly saw was your face. A moment before, I felt that transfer again. Then we were here. Now we need to return me to my... Do you smell smoke?
Yeah. I'm going home. I need to see if anything has happened.
This is a waste of time. You need to find the people who took my body immediately.
Only after I see if they went to my village first. They may have done something. No!
Hey, there's something going on in that village over there. I'm not leaving a tree cover until whatever it is gets sorted out. Bad feeling about it.
Mom! Dad! Nadi! Posh! Tanil! Anyone! The house? What happened to the house? Mom! Dad!
Ah, so there is someone left. Oh, I figured there would be a few of you bumpkins left scurrying about like rats. Well, we can't have you going and squealing to your neighbors about us, no. We want things to be quiet and peaceful, so you will have to come with us.
What have you done to my home? Where is everyone?
Take or kill them. We'll have no witnesses today.
This was my home?
Not anymore, it would seem.
Why would they do this? Where is everyone?
Do you actually expect an answer to that question, or...
No, I was expecting you to actually be helpful and offer some insight, but I guess that was too much to ask, wasn't it?
Careful, child.
Stop it already! Look! A lot has happened all at once! I had a dragon pop into my head and start tearing it apart, and then a few minutes later I found out my home and everyone I know are now gone!
How dare you! Consider yourself fortunate that I am merciful and willing to overlook this slight in light of your obvious distress and lack of self-control. What are you doing in my cave, anyhow?
Some of the villagers had gone missing. I was going to ask you for your help finding them.
Well, it seems that a few missing persons is the least of your village's concerns now.
It's cruel and not appreciated right now. I understand that you're upset, but I am too. So can you please lay off?
Fine.
So what are we supposed to do now? I don't have a
I do not think that I could even if I tried. As much as it galls me to admit it, all I can do is hurt you. I think that I could kill you if I truly wished, but that would likely end my life too.
That's good to know.
We shall hunt the people who took my body. We will find a way for you to put me back, and I can force answers out of those treacherous eels. Perhaps you can use the coin again to set things right.
But it exploded when I touched it. It felt like something was being forced into me before I blacked out. That must have been when you came.
Without the coin, I doubt that you would have been able to restore me anyhow, much less after whatever that monster of theirs did to me in the times since. It seemed to be fusing with my form. It might have been feeding. That was not the impression I felt.
So I've got the same question as before. What now?
Short of purging my soul from your body, which I would not recommend lest you want me to destroy the both of us first, you will need to put me into another vessel. Ideally, though, that vessel will be my own original body, purified of whatever has come to infest it. If your villagers were taken by this group, then finding where they have taken me will also lead you to the answers you seek.
Sure, but I don't know anything about healing dragons or moving souls from one body to another. How are we supposed to do all of that, or even find these people?
I think that the best course now would be to seek the advice of the scholars in Candlekeep. It is relatively close and hosts the greatest collection of knowledge in Faerun that I am aware of anyhow. If anyone would know of a cure or be able to devise one and be able to tell us more about this group of people that attacked me, then we will almost certainly find them in Candlekeep's great library. Rather than walk the whole way, see if that man with the cart is heading north. Preserve your strength while you can.
I think that's actually the first good, usable advice you've given me.
Do not push your luck with such frequent sarcasm, child. Find the cart and let us leave.
Need a lift?
After nearly 2 weeks of walking, leaving over 100 miles of the coast road behind you, Candle Keep's soaring spires are finally close enough to reveal their details. Set atop a craggy peninsula, rising above the Sea of Swords, the fortress overlooks the surrounding farmland, while keeping a healthy distance from the wild and shadowy Cloakwood.
At last! I had forgotten how long it can take to travel when one does not have... Remember, Candle Keep is the home of the Avowed, the greatest scholars on the continent. Be respectful, follow their rules, and try not to let anything too uncivilized come out of your mouth.
You've been insulting me this entire trip. It'll be a lot easier for the both of us if you stop acting like such a creep.
I insulted you that first night, for which I apologize. However, I have since only cited your shortcomings and your need to address them. Whether or not to take offense to facts is up to you.
And it's up to you to be nicer about it.
Niceties are a waste of breath. Though I suppose that metaphor no longer applies to me, does it?
Well, I'm actually looking forward to this, Vair.
What did you just call me?
Vair. Come now. Endandravair is a bit of a mouthful, isn't it?
Endandravair is the name given to me by my mother, a great worm of majesty, wisdom, and beauty the likes of which you can scarcely imagine. Vair is childish, altogether too familiar.
Yeah, but it's easier. And it's what everyone at home called you. Now let's get going. We're burning daylight.
Excuse me? These fields look almost untended, and I do not hear any farmhands or livestock. Have these places been abandoned for some reason? Keep a keen eye out. If these people fled their homes, they must have had a good reason to do so.
Hey, you! Wait, I've got something to tell you about those guards. We're starting to wonder if you'd actually stop to talk.
What do you need to warn us about?
Well, the guards aren't going to let you in. I saw you coming up the road, and it's pretty clear you're not from here, so no one's going to let you in, even to the Court of Air.
Why aren't they letting strangers in?
People have been going missing in the area. Travellers and locals alike. Those farms you pass by, for example. Yeah, the families that live there just up and vanished. No sign of an attack or anything. So the people in charge are getting right paranoid and only allowing residents to enter the city.
Okay, but we still need to get in.
We? Who's we?
Oh, sorry. Slip of the tongue. It's been a long journey.
Fair enough.
So how do we get in?
If you're gonna enter Candlekeep, you're gonna need a residence pass. They handed them out to all the locals in their jurisdiction, but it was pretty rushed, and with my special set of skills, I can make one that will fool the guards into letting you through the gate. What do you say? 25 gold, and the documents will be all yours.
It really sounds like working with him is the only way into the city and that he's offering a fair price.
25? That's insane! I could live for a whole season on that!
Maybe where you come from, but things are a bit more... Besides, this represents not only the value of my skills, but also the substantial risk I'm taking in forging legal documents for you. There's serious consequences for this sort of thing, you know.
It really sounds like working with him is the only way into the city and that he's offering a fair price.
I don't have much money to spare, and you don't look like you have many customers. Drop the price to 10 and I'll pay you.
Okay, let's split the difference. 15 gold.
Fine. We have a deal.
Good. Now, I can't make this pass from nothing. I sold my last copy a week ago, so you'll need to find one of your own that I can modify. Look at those farmhouses, though. The families there were either taken or left in a hurry. They might have one or two lying around. Bring back a copy, plus payment, and I'll get to work. Be careful, though. The people are gone, but I've heard some rustling around there and other strange sounds. Never seen anything, but it gives me the creeps. And I think I saw someone go into one of those houses, maybe to stay the night, but I never saw them come out. Probably just missed them, though. Good luck!
Of course, we have to do the legwork.
I'm the one doing all the work. You're just along for the ride.
I will contribute as best I can. My advice by itself could prove invaluable.
Yeah, if you ever give it. What is this thing?
Some sort of construct, it would seem. I would presume that it is guarding this house, unless someone left it with more malicious intentions.
Thanks, but that advice isn't helping me to kill it!
Just tear it apart. If it cannot hold itself together, it is no threat. To think you needed my help to figure even that out.
Finally! What were those things doing on a farm? I don't think seagulls justify that level of protection.
No, perhaps they wandered here. Rogue constructs are not unheard of. Still, you might learn something if you look around. Then again, what have scarecrows to do with our mission?
Not much, I guess.
Katra, I'm going to try something. Do not be alarmed if things start to look different.
Wait, what? Whoa! Okay.
I said not to be alarmed. I was uncertain if I could do this while in your body, but my intimate connection to the material plane allows me certain privileges of perception when...
Plain speak, please.
Of course. In essence, I can see some elements of magic, how enchantments work, their origin or nature, what they draw power from. It depends on the situation, but you get the gist of it. Perhaps this will help on occasion, though I must admit that it is somewhat taxing to use this ability with your body. Please be quick.
The stake that was holding the scarecrow upright is uninteresting, but the hole where it was seems to have been disturbed relatively recently. This was only put in a week ago, if that.
What would that kind of magic be doing here?
I cannot say. Some people draw power from such places, making contracts with fiendish creatures or finding other ways to tap into those planes' powers. Sometimes creatures from there also escape into the world, either through a summoning gone wrong or random circumstance. We have too little information to judge by. Still, this is worrisome. Be careful, lest a Garistro catch you by surprise and turn you into a snack.
A what now?
Giant minotaur-like pig bat-faced demon thing. Not great at parties.
Vair, was that a joke?
Do not call me that.
Folded and then stuffed haphazardly among a pile of now rotting onions, you find a piece of parchment marked with an official-looking seal and titled Evidence of Residence in the Candlekeep Territories. A bit wordy and a bit more aromatic than you'd like, but it should do the trick.
Good. Now return to that individual Scratch. Let us hope that he is adequate to the task.
Hope or not, we don't have many other options to resort to, Vair.
Why must you insist on calling me that?
It's what everyone in the village called you. It's easier than saying your full name.
Be glad that I am a magnanimous and forgiving dragon, else I would be inclined to start tearing up your mind again.
Don't worry, you're already a big enough headache as it is.
Ah, is that a bit of legal documentation I see there? And smell? Phew. Okay, well, you work with what you've got, right? Give me a bit to scrape off and refinish the important parts, then I'll start with colour matching, then confirming the handwriting, and your eyes are glazing over. Just give me the goods and wait a bit. And here you go. Certification that you absolutely belong to the area and can come and go as you like. Just don't let any wizards near it. They get curious, they've probably got spells or something that can sniff out a forgery. Otherwise, though, no one will ever be the wiser. Enjoy the castle!
Papers, please.
Here's my residence certificate.
The guard glances at the paper, noting the seal and the signatures, but does not peer too closely. Watching him scrunch up his nose, the cursory inspection might have to do with not wanting to put his face too close to the smell of rancid onions.
All right. Everything looks fine. Head on in. Just keep an eye out for any strange activity.
Passing through the city walls, you are dumped into a large, open square that seems to double as a marketplace. It is not exactly brimming with life, but considering how you've lived nearly all of your life in a small village, the number of people in one place is staggering, and the activity threatens to be overwhelming.
Good. That was tedious, but we made it. Now the next part could be problematic. Only the Avowed and certain others are allowed into the inner ward through the emerald door on the far side of this courtyard. Talk to the keeper there and determine what is required to get in and speak with one of the experts.
An elven woman was once imprisoned here. As punishment for trying to take over Candle Keep, she was made to be the lighthouse's sole keeper and to live here in isolation for the rest of her days. She died from an accident only a few years later, but locals swear that they can hear her sad, maddened singing coming from the tower on dark, misty nights.
What business have you here, child?
I wish to speak with one of the researchers.
You and everyone else. Do you have an appointment or a letter of introduction?
Yes. I am to speak with Avowed Tenbury.
There is... If I were to hazard... Keep this up, and I will make sure that the guards remove you from this...
What is your...
I am the keeper of the Emerald Door.
I wish to...
You and every...
Yes.
There is no... If I were to hazard a guess... Keep this up, and I will make sure that the...
What is your job here?
I am the keeper of the...
I wish to speak with one of...
You and...
Yes.
If I were to hazard... Keep this up, and I will make sure that the...
What is your...
I am the keeper of...
I wish to speak...
You and...
Yes.
If I were to hazard a guess, I would wager that we do not even have an avowed. Keep this up, and I will make sure that the guards remove...
Thank you for your...
My pleasure.
This is unacceptable. We must find someone to assist us, and soon. I can only imagine what those monsters are doing with my body, and already I chafe at being confined to yours.
Wow, thanks. Well, do you happen to know where we could find a rare or unique book?
No. Distasteful as this may be, we might have to find another dubiously legal way around this problem. Actually, I remember passing a sewer grate earlier. If there are sewers for this outer area, then they surely have some for the inner ward.
So, you want me to break into a sewer, sneak through Ogma knows what kind of filth, and then break into the inner ward to, what, kidnap or threaten a scholar into helping us?
Presumably, we would be able to find someone more reasonable or at least amenable to our request. However, we cannot do that from out here. The sewers are our only option right now.
You only say this because you won't have to smell what I do.
Actually, I will. You think I only see through your eyes? Child, I am bound to experience everything that you do. Believe me, sharing in your bodily functions these past weeks has been far from enjoyable.
Ew. Okay, point taken. Sewers it is then, I guess? This is what living in a city means? How can one place produce so much filth?
You sounded as if you knew what you were getting into.
I thought I did. Didn't think it'd be this plentiful.
The byproduct of civilization. People are messy.
Vair? Are you okay?
Do not call me that. It's strange. Even without a body or the need to breathe, I feel a tightness in my chest, lightheadedness. I think that it would be best to spend as little time in here as possible. Please, hurry through this place.
Wait, you don't sound so good. What's going on?
We need to move quickly. You are wasting time.
Is there anything I can do to help?
No! Now stop asking idiotic questions.
Alright, let's make...
That is the right direction, and it seems to no longer be sewers beyond this point. These are probably the tunnels running beneath the inner ward I have heard of. Catacombs, vaults, labs. Much of the work and knowledge of the Avowed is down here, it seems. Unfortunately, there is a ward on the door. You will need to find a key, unless you wish to be fried.
No, I don't.
Wait, look at that. On the ground.
There's nothing on the ground.
Precisely.
Helpful?
The rest of this place is a riot of grime and muck, child, yet this path is almost spotless. I would be willing to bet half of my entire hoard that a gelatinous cube has come this way.
A what now?
An oozing monster that inhabits places like this. Some people and more intelligent creatures keep them as witless guardians and janitors. The things absorb and dissolve any animal or plant material they touch as a way of eating. They cannot dissolve metals and other non-living things, though, so they can carry the equipment and goods of whomever they have eaten for some time.
Whomever? As in people?
Of course. Do not be dense, child. Now follow this trail. You might find something interesting floating in the cube's body. Just be careful, though, as they can be transparent and thus easy to overlook. There, look. The thing has a key inside of it. It must have eaten a maintenance worker or one of the avowed. That might get us out of the sewers and into the cleaner part we saw earlier. Just don't let the creature suck you up. Please? Yes, it looks as if an enchantment quite similar to the one on the locked door is embedded in this key. It should work to get us through.
And what if it sets off the trap?
Then you had best hope that the mage who put it there set it more as a deterrent rather than a defense.
Okay, just going to open the door. The magically trapped door stuffed with potentially lethal lightning. Right, okay. And still alive. Right, well, that's good. Yeah.
Oh, be not so dramatic. You could find much worse before we are done here. I have heard tell that there are guardians and occasional escaped experiments down here, though that may just be rumor.
Wow, thanks. The possibility of even greater danger certainly sets my mind at ease. Thanks, Fire.
Stop calling me that.
What?
Get back!
Whoa!
Good job. That creature was known as...
A mimic. Yeah, I've heard of those things. Didn't expect it to be so... slimy, though. Why did it have a key inside of it, though? Did it eat someone like the cube did?
Probably not. Otherwise, we would have seen some more gruesome evidence of the meal. No, some people feed mimics various items that they need to hide or protect. If you know how to handle one of these things, they can be rather convenient guardians. As long as you keep them fed, that is.
Yeah, I can imagine the alternative.
Well, unfortunately, it seems that this ensorcelled armor is tied to the exit. Unless you have a powerful dispelling magic at your disposal that you have neglected to mention, you will have to defeat this thing to undo the seal over the door.
You're saying I have to fight a piece of armor with no obvious weaknesses, or even a person inside to take out? Let me guess, I have to just beat it into a useless hunk of metal, kinda like I did the scarecrows?
Precisely.
I'm really starting to hate constructs. This better be worth all the trouble we've gone to, Vair. How are we going to get someone to help us, though? We're breaking in.
Let us consider that later. First, we need to get out of these tunnels. Someone might have heard the battle or noticed that the enchantment on the door is broken. We can determine our course once we are safely hidden within the inner ward.
Ah, nice place.
Thank you. Unfortunately for you, chances are that you will only see it as you are taken away to a prison cell.
Get us out of here. We cannot be imprisoned. Not in a cell. Fight! Run! Do something!
Are you joking? There's so many of them! We'll be torn to shreds if we resist!
While we would normally have prevented you from coming this far, Sage Thesserai has taken an interest in you. Now you are to attend him personally.
Whatever you do, do not allow them to incarcerate us. Do not give them a reason.
What does this Thesserai person...
Sage Thesserai said that they found you curious, but did not elaborate. They also said that your meager powers could not pose a serious threat to him or us. Keep that in mind, lest you try something rash.
Okay, I'll go. Where do I find them?
He is waiting for you in Exaltation, the Keep. Consider this an honor, as few of those outside of the Avowed are allowed entry to our home. You are to head directly to the Great Library. Do not attempt to deviate from the main path. We will be watching you.
That is far enough.
Why am I here?
You caught my interest. We have all sorts of detection spells in the sewers. You pinged a half-dozen of them when you sneaked in, and a dozen more when you entered the catacombs.
What happens to me now?
Do not attempt to resist the spell. If you resist, then we will have to detain you and try again until you cooperate. Lots of extra bother.
As the spell activates, you feel something press against your mind, and on some level you know that it is trying to pry away your ability to lie. The intrusion is sudden and sets your teeth on edge, and your first reaction is to resist. However, considering where you are and the promise of a jail cell, or worse if you do not cooperate, you relax and allow the spell to take hold.
Good. Now let's get the boring stuff over with. Do you intend to harm anyone in this city, be it specifically in terms of property or any other way that includes, but is not limited to, theft, spying, or harassment?
No, I do not.
Good. Next, why did you sneak into the inner ward?
We need the help of someone who understands magic, and we cannot afford to wait.
We? There are more of you. Well, let's come back to that. Okay, now the interesting stuff. Why do some of our spells register you as a dragon and a human? You aren't some abomination, and you aren't a construct or other made thing, so what exactly are you?
Careful.
I bear the soul of the dragon Endandravair within me.
That actually confirms one of my hypotheses. It also poses a lot more questions, but that's gratifying at least. How about while we've got this handy zone of truth working, you just tell me everything you can about how this dragon came to inhabit you, and we work from there. Well, hopefully they will be able to use what you told us to find out more about this group that you encountered and the monsters accompanying them. In the meanwhile, we need to discuss whether or not Candlekeep will assist you in your predicament.
Whether or... How could they refuse us? Tell him that Endandravair demands their aid. It is only fitting that they should restore me to my rightful form.
Endandravair says that he demands your help. That it's only right that you put him back in his body.
Does he now? Well, I don't see as he is in any position to be making demands, much less determining wrong and right.
I am a golden dragon. My very nature is to know right from wrong. Tell him not to question me.
He says that he knows right and wrong better than you do.
Does he? Well, I may not be an expert on dragons, but I am a fan of them and have heard his name before. I cannot say that it has been treated with much reverence or gratitude, as Endandravair has a reputation for isolating himself and neglecting to help. It seems to me that we neither owe him anything, nor that we can trust his moral judgment, much less treat his decisions as lawful righteous commands.
Is there a way we can convince you to help?
Well, yes, I happen to have something in mind. You see, there is a clock tower nearby where a colleague of mine named Adro lives. However, no one has heard from him in some time. Since there have been reports of monsters going in and out as they please, it is probably safe to assume that Adro is now dead. Sad as that is, the old codger had a valuable book in his collection. I want you to clear out the vermin, and if Wizard Adro is imprisoned or injured, help him. If he is missing or dead, then find and take the book. You do this, and we'll call it even as far as your crimes go.
What's the book I'm looking for?
The last written work of the late and great Archmage Mordenkainen, the Planeswalker's Guide, Interplanar Travel and its Effects on Spellcraft.
Sounds interesting.
Yes, fascinating, really, and far safer to learn from than by visiting the other planes of existence yourself. Adro got nearly everything he needed by selling us just an hour or two with that book every few months. Excellent! Well, in that case, I am looking forward to hearing from you once you have concluded your investigation. Until then, try not to die.
I have been instructed to allow you to and from the inner ward as you please. But if you step out of line again, I will arrest you. Enjoy the sights.
Pleasant woman.
I don't know. I figure you two would get along handsomely.
I understand that was supposed to be a joke, but even so, I fail to see the similarities.
Yeah, you would. things again? Why were they here too?
If I were to hazard a guess, they are guarding the path to the tower.
You think the person who put some in the farmer's fields also left these ones here?
It is possible. We will discover more at the tower, I suspect.
Feeling a special connection with nature in this place, Druids created this shrine long ago. The shrine is meant to heighten the magic of nature found here and allow visitors to commune with the earth. Even now, centuries later, the site is witness to all manner of events, from purification rituals to weddings to the swearing of oaths. This ship drifted into harbour several years ago, bearing no crew except for the swarm of rats that had infested the vessel. After crashing against a nearby island, home to Candlekeep's lighthouse, the ship beached itself here. Local authorities and residents came to inspect the wreck, but found not even the remains of the crew, leading them to believe that the ship was haunted. No one has had the guts to dismantle it since. a nondescript but productive mine. Iron Throne has gained something of a reputation among the locals. This place has a history of being taken over by monsters that then turn it into their new home, until the local militia or a band of adventurers removes them. Why goblins, orcs and other nasty things so prefer this cave over others in the area is anyone's guess.
How's the inn?
A bit grandiose, but still quite appealing.
There! I see the monsters. Let's get this over with.
Wait, did you hear that? Well, I mean, I know you heard it because I heard. It's those things again from my cabin.
You only caught a glimpse of things before the fight started and cannot determine what caused this. Perhaps they were arguing over food.
What are those winged red creatures?
Imps, devils that are nearly at the bottom of the Infernal Legion's hierarchy. I find it curious that they are here, though it is possible that Wizard Adro has bound them still. It is a pitiful...
You only caught a glimpse of things before the fight started and
Definitely fighting.
Vair remains silent. You only caught a...
What are those winged red...
Imps, still. It is a pitiful defense for such a respected spellcaster.
One way or another, we need...
catacombs. We must assume that this place is similarly...
Can you see anything with your magic?
Yes, I can point out general paths and principles, however it may...
The magics placed on this door turn out to be easier to understand than either you or Vair had. Either Wizard Adro does not care enough to make better defenses, or he did not put them here. Considering that the door seems fairly new, the latter seems more likely. Perhaps
I must say those were rather puny defenses as far as wizards' homes go. I'm increasingly inclined to think that someone else has taken residence here.
Human, stop! Leave or we kill you!
between the goblin's twisted face and being distracted by the various sharp objects pointed at you, it is a bit difficult for you to get a read on these creatures.
Whatever it is that keeps you here, whatever man or monster holds you, I can promise that I will fight and defeat them. If you leave me be and flee this tower, I will make sure that there is no one left here who can come after you.
The goblin lowers his weapon a fraction.
You, big tower master?
He looks at the other goblins around him, and in particular at the open door leading to the sunny outside.
I take chances.
With that, he runs past you towards the door. After a moment's hesitation and confusion, about half of the other goblins follow their leader. Those remaining
Excellent work, brothers and sisters. This wayward lamb will be a worthy offering to our Lord and Savior.
Break us out of here, Kotra, now!
Nice try, kid. But this trap was designed to keep creatures far more dangerous than you contained.
No! You shall not be caged! You filthy worms, let us out! Let us out! Let us out!
After a few moments of analyzing their clothing, something clicks. These people have neither bound the imps you found in and around the tower, nor are they simply borrowing power from creatures of the lower planes. They worship those creatures.
What are you doing in this tower? What happened to the wizard who lived here?
Oh, why do the people we capture always think they're going to get answers from us? What's the point of telling you anything? You will die soon, and it is more entertaining and safer to watch you squirm in ignorance.
Fair, I need you to focus. I need you to help us get out. Do you think you could see or find anything useful in this barrier? Maybe a way to dispel it.
I don't... I'll try. There are channels in this barrier that the magic has to flow through. I think that if you touch that glowing point on the wall, you can redirect the magical current to wherever you step. If you pull the current to every part of the barrier, I think it will disrupt the entire working and cause it to collapse. Oh, I'm sorry. It's...
What happened? The prisoner!
Kill them! Kill them before they flee!
Do not even think about fleeing! Eradicate these scum! Destroy them for daring to imprison us!
Hey, are you feeling all right? You got pretty worked up.
I am fine.
All right.
How dare you? How about rather than...
As you enter this room, you find the door across from you, the only way forward, shrouded in a magical barrier. In the center of the room sits a filled goblet on a pedestal. High above the door shines a crystal that is jammed into a crack between the stones. With Vair's help, you can see that the crystal, goblet, and barrier are linked. Even from where you stand, you can see that the crystal has a series of wards around it, not to mention that even reaching the thing would prove a challenge. Written before the goblet on the pedestal is a note that says, "An act of faith and proof of fealty to our Lord. Drink and embrace the shadow of death to demonstrate your devotion."
It would seem that the crystal powers the barrier, and that drinking the goblet's contents will either allow you to pass through it or temporarily lower the defense. Judging by that note, however, I would guess that whatever is in that drink would not be good for your health.
Whatever is in this liquid will certainly hurt you if you ingest it. It will not kill you, but depending on your tolerance for nausea, you may wish it had. You can also tell that the goblet refills as soon as it is emptied. The walls are fairly sheer, but if you get up there, you might be able to disarm the crystal embedded in the wall. The drink is room temperature, but it leaves a sensation like ice pricking your skin as it washes down your throat. Nausea and cramps soon follow, but they are manageable and your body feels otherwise functional.
Are you sure you're ready to face whoever is behind that door? This is the last room in the tower, and considering that we have not encountered them yet, it is probably where this lord we have heard so much about is waiting.
You should not have come here. You've certainly made a mess of things, and now our lord is upset.
Yes, though it has been entertaining to watch you struggle and claw your way here one step at a time. You have caused enough damage. Besides, I am bored, and while sacrifices are all well and good, I enjoy brutalizing my victims far too much to ignore what hapless fools wander right through my door. Oh, suffer!
Planeswalker's Guide. That is the book that Sage Thesserai sent us to retrieve. Now, what to do about this one? They seem rather powerful, but perhaps Thesserai and the other sages would prefer to keep them for questioning.
What have you done? You've doomed us all! Do you even know what is coming? You've destroyed our only hope at a safe haven against...
Against what?
Ah!
Enlightenment? Believe me, Novus, there is nothing that can protect you from the forces of the universe. They will learn.
Contra,
Give
get
her
us out of
some
here.
time
Run.
to see the
We need to
errors
run.
of her ways. Then she can dream that this never happened and apologizes before waking up. Useful, primitive and temporary, but even these figments of our imaginations that you call people create the occasional useful tool. Have you the eyes for such a thing? Have you the sight to recognize what lies in the blackest abyss? It seems to me that you might, but... no. Never mind. There was something familiar about you. Perhaps something that I met in you some months down the line. Your role in this world is done. Enjoy the coming sleep and, in your slumber, be ready for the awakening once the true gods come to call.
Can you move? Swim! Get us out of the water! Move! Now! I did not think to see that thing here. That was more than we bargained for when we took this job.
Are you okay? You seemed really shaken when it showed up.
And you seemed to be thrown from the top of a tower. Nothing about that encounter was normal.
The cultists kept saying things about that devil saving them, and then the last one looked like they recognized the masked man when he appeared. Any ideas?
None, except that they might be rivals for the same goal, whatever that may be. Still, the masked man talked about coming gods, and the cultists spoke of an approaching cataclysm. It is not too much of a stretch to think they are linked.
I think I've had enough of this tower and everything in it. You?
Yes, I think returning to Candlekeep and its walls seems like a very reasonable and pleasant proposition. Though I will admit that I want to know what they have done with my body. We were in no shape to contend with that man or monster or whatever manner of creature is behind that mask. Even if we should find a way to track them, though, perhaps there is nothing to be done for my body anyhow. It could already be gone, or simply pursuing that masked figure will result in both of our deaths. For now, report to Thesserai. They will want to know what we have found.
You know, you've been rather quiet since we left the tower. Something I should know? Something is clearly bothering you. It might help to share the burden.
I let my emotions get the better of me. When we were trapped in that barrier, I was not thinking clearly, and even if I had been clear-headed, there was so little that I could do. It's galling. I feel as though I am not much of a dragon anymore. I cannot say as I even feel particularly useful. I feel weak. Ever since I lost my body, I have had little or no control over my life. It's unsettling. I hate it.
That's understandable. I can only imagine what that feels like.
You needn't imagine anything. You and your breed are inherently weak. Pawns of fate that can only hope to not be caught in the conflicts of those greater than you.
That was uncalled for.
Perhaps. Yes, I spoke too rashly. I should not have said that.
Is there anything I can do for you?
No, I do not think so. But thank you for asking.
Ah, I was wondering if you would return at all. I considered scrying to see if you had decided to just make a run for it. Glad to see you didn't.
We've got the book you wanted.
Ah, excellent. Oh, does that mean that, Adro...
We were too late. I'm sorry for your loss.
Yes, so am I. Though I will admit that I had assumed the worst already. Hearing it confirmed is still something of a shock. By the way, do you know what was being done in the tower?
A cult of devil worshippers had taken over his tower and removed him.
Devil worshippers? That's a bit, extreme. I certainly hope that Adro had nothing to do with them. So many people seem to forget how committing your soul to a devil is usually a rather permanent affair. I would not want that for him. He could be unpleasant, yes, but he was a good man, all things considered. Do you know what they wanted from his tower, or why they were there?
They had some sort of portal. I think they were using it to summon more devils and stay in contact with the devil in charge.
That cannot have been their only reason for being there, though. They could have taken residence and opened a portal anywhere.
Well, they did say something about needing a safe place. They thought there was some sort of impending calamity and were using the tower as a fortress.
Really? Did they say what this calamity would entail?
We didn't really get that far in conversation. Between them trying to sacrifice me and all that?
Ha! Alright, that is fair. I suppose I had hoped for too much.
We did, however, run into that masked man we told you about, though. The one that was in the cave when Vyre was taken out of his body.
Really? What happened?
He sounded like he was spouting nonsense. Neither Vyre nor I could figure it out, but he then killed one of the cultists and their leader before taking whatever they were using to open the portal. A couple of its minions were also killed outside the tower while fighting against the things living there.
Pretty fair indication that they're not exactly friendly acquaintances, then.
Is this enough, then? Will you help us?
Help you? Whoever said that I would help you?
You did? You said that you would help us if we cleared out the tower and got your book for you.
I said that I would wipe the slate clean regarding your criminal activities and waive your fee for entrance to the Great Library. The matter of helping you with your little identity crisis is something else entirely.
How dare you? After I risked my life to get you what you wanted.
In exchange for sponging away your crimes and keeping you out of a jail cell, or perhaps an I'm kidding! I'm kidding! Just toying with you a bit. I was planning on helping you from the start, as the problem piqued my curiosity. Though this ought to remind you that you should be careful about what someone says and what you agree to. There are plenty of devious people and creatures out there. Either way, I had actually already begun investigating some leads. This may not exactly align with my specialty, but we have hundreds of researchers in my department, so...
You can just do that? Get them to drop their own projects?
Of course. What good is being a head bureaucrat if you cannot throw around your weight a little every now and then? Oh, and speaking of assistants, I should also note that no one has been able to identify the creatures that you described to me earlier. That in itself is rather peculiar, considering how many people in this city are fascinated with magical creatures. None of our experts have any answers, though. Fortunately, the Avowed are a curious lot, and are working all the harder to determine who or what you encountered. Since you ran into one of their kind again, if their bodies are still where you slew them in the woods, finding and examining their anatomy would go a long way towards solving the riddle. I will send someone out to find and retrieve them.
Did you know Wizard Adro particularly well?
He was actually the last disciple of my late master Mordenkainen. It is how he came to possess our master's last written work. We trained together for a little while, though I struck out on my own while he was still an apprentice. They were both far more invested in the workings of the multiverse than I was. If I'm being entirely honest, I was always a little jealous of how well they got along. Still, it is hard to imagine that both of them are gone now.
Is there anything we can do to help speed up the research?
Not now, I'm afraid. Now it is just a matter of giving our Avowed some time.
What should Vyre and I do in the meanwhile?
Well, you're always welcome to find other work in the area. Otherwise, you have been through quite a lot in the past few weeks. Go to the inn, get some rest. Come see me again.
What can I do for you?
Do you have an open room for the night?
Yeah, haven't had a lot of customers lately since most travelers aren't being let into the city. So you got your pick of the place. Just be 1 gold piece.
Here you go.
Thank you. Now let me just show you to your room.
No. Stay away. No. Stop it. Leave me alone. Go away!
Vair! Vair! It's okay!
No. Leave me. Get back! Where are they? Carter, where are they? They...
Okay. If you've calmed down, we're going back to sleep.
Right.
About last night.
Please, do not speak of it.
It's just that... Was the experience really that bad? Having your body stolen. I know you were scared, but those dreams you have and the way you acted when the cultists caught us...
I said not to speak of it. I want no reminder of that. But if you really insist on satisfying your childish, idiotic curiosity, then just know this. Having my soul ripped from my body was the most painful thing that I have ever experienced. I did not know that pain could be so complete or overwhelming. Not being able to do anything about it was even worse. Now be silent and go speak with the sage.
Ah, there you are. Yvonne and I have been working on your conundrum. I have some good news and I have some bad news.
Let's hear the good news.
Well, to begin with, we have found a way to safely separate Vair's soul from your body and put it back into his own while expelling the parasite that is latched onto him.
What's the bad news?
The bad news, I'm afraid, is that the artifact you need to put Vair back into his own body is rather far away, and may not actually be where we think it is. You see, while investigating, we encountered 2 principal problems. Removing and transporting another creature's soul is actually rather simple if you have the appropriate knowledge or equipment. I've done it myself on several occasions. The problems are that Endandravaya's body is already inhabited by a living creature that may have some control over it, and furthermore, we do not know how much damage this creature has inflicted on Vair's body, nor whether removing the parasite forcibly would do even more. For all we know, removing the creature would kill Vair's body, and trying to put his soul back into it would be, well, pointless. He would simply die as any other creature does when their body expires. To address this, we tracked down an artifact known as the Rod of Alignment. Its relatively simple, if exceptionally powerful function, is to set things back into their natural intended state. It can only do so on a limited scale and needs time to recharge, but it should do the trick.
What's the catch?
The catch is that, like I said, we are not absolutely sure about where it is. We just have a very good guess that will at least put you on the artifact's trail.
Will that be enough on its own?
Yes, though depending on how powerful the parasite is, you will likely need to weaken the creature before the artifact can extract it. Living things can resist magical effects, but weakening the target will reduce its ability to do so. The rod was last seen in the possession of Myastan Kimmerin, a morally dubious Dragonborn druid. Without getting into too many details, he was last seen with it in Icewind Dale when going to speak to a storm giant friend of his who lives in the area. There have not been any reports of the artifact since that visit, though Kimmerin has certainly left their mark on various places without it in the intervening time, so we think it may have been left in the storm giant's keeping. If not, then they may have an idea of where to find it.
Where exactly is Icewind Dale?
It's far to the north, beyond the spine of the World Mountain Range. It's about a 1,200-mile trip from here.
You're kidding. It took me nearly 2 weeks to come even a tenth of that distance.
Yeah, I probably should have included that in the bad news category.
Who is Myastan, exactly?
Myastan is his Dragonborn clan name. Kimmerin has made a name for himself by protecting wild places and, well, destroying or sabotaging anyone that threatens them in any way. He has hurt a good number of people with his rather extreme methods.
And how are we supposed to get this giant to help us?
I don't know. That is for you to figure out. I'm sure that a resourceful duo like yourselves can manage.
We should get going, then. Any recommendations for getting to Icewind Dale? Preferably within this century?
Well, there's a ship heading north in the next day or so. I arranged passage for you, though you will have to find other ships heading north on your own once this one stops in Waterdeep. Shouldn't be too troublesome this time of year. Oh, and one last thing. One of our occultists was able to identify those grinning creatures that you have encountered. They are called Grue, and are part of a large, mysterious category of creatures commonly called Starspawn. Whatever their purpose is here, it cannot be good. The few times the Starspawn Grue are mentioned in our books usually labels them as minions, shock troopers, and harbingers for even greater evils and agents of ancient mad gods. How they came here is unknown, but their very presence is troubling. The people working with them probably worship whatever elder god the Grue serve. I suspect that you have found a cult of the Old Ones, which may explain why the man in the mask was interested in the devil cultists you found in Adros Tower. They would likely have similar goals and could be using similar resources.
This information has left Thesaurus shaken. He does not seem worried so much about the Grue themselves as to what their appearance in our world might mean.
What might they want with Endandravair's body?
It's impossible to say. Many creatures that come from other planes have been known to open more portals to their homes and thereby facilitate an invasion. Theoretically, since dragons are tied to the very nature of magic in our world, they could use him as a focus or anchor point, though they would also need his soul for that, since the soul is what really ties dragons to Faerun. It could be that they simply need a host large enough for the parasite. There's also the possibility that they have taken his body to their home plane, in which case there is nothing we could do.
Thank you for the information.
Limited as it was. Keep this with you as you travel. You can use this to contact me from anywhere in Faerun at any time. If you're in dire trouble, or if you encounter something that might be very interesting to me, use that. Otherwise, abuse this privilege and I will sever the connection permanently. Now go down to the docks and you will find passage on a ship heading north. Good luck. Ah, I was wondering if you would return at all. I considered scrying to see if you had decided to just make a run for it.
We've got the book you wanted.
Ah, excellent. Oh, does that mean that, Adro...
We were too late. I'm sorry for your loss.
Yes, so am I. Though I will admit that I had assumed the worst already, hearing it... By the way, do you know what was being done in the tower?
A cult of devil worshippers had taken over his tower and removed him.
Devil worshippers? That's a bit, extreme. So many people seem to forget how committing your soul... Do you know what they wanted from his tower, or why they were there?
Well, they did say something about needing a safe place. They thought there was some sort of...
Really? Did they say what this...
We didn't really get that far in conversation. Between them trying to sacrifice me and all that?
Ha! Alright, that is fair. I suppose I had hoped for too much.
We did, however, run into...
Really?
He sounded like he was spouting nonsense. Neither Vair nor I. A couple of its minions were also killed outside the tower while fighting against the things living there.
Pretty fair indication that they're not exactly friendly acquaintances, then.
Is this enough, then?
Help you? Whoever said that I would help you?
You did? You said that you would help us if we cleared out the tower and got your book for you.
I said that I would wipe the slate clean regarding your criminal activities and waive your fee for entrance to the Great Library. The matter of helping you with your little identity crisis is something else entirely.
How dare you? After I risked my life to get you what you wanted.
In exchange for sponging away your crimes and keeping you out of a jail cell. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Just toying with you a bit. I was planning on helping you from this. Though this ought to remind you that you... Either way, I'd actually...
You can just do that?
Of course. Oh, and that and it's... Fortunately, since you ran into...
Is there anything we can do?
Not now, I'm afraid. Now it is just a matter of...
What should...
Well, you're always welcome to find other work in the area. Otherwise, you have been through quite a lot in the past few weeks. Go to the inn. Get some rest. Come see me again once you...
What can I do for you?
Do you have an open room for the...
Yeah, haven't had a lot of customers lately.
Here you go.
Thank you.
No. Stay away. No. Stop it. Leave me alone. Go away!
Vair! Vair! Endandra Vair! It's okay!
No.
No one
Leave me.
Just us.
Get back!
Is this okay?
Where are they? Carter, where are they? They...
That's not the first time you've had a dream like that. It's getting worse.
Yes, they are.
What were you dreaming about?
You needn't pretend. You saw it too.
Do you want to talk about it?
No.
About last night.
Please, do not speak of it.
It's just that... Was the experience really that bad? Having your body stolen. I know you were scared, but those dreams you have and the way you acted when the cultists caught us...
I said not to speak of it. I want no reminder of that. But if you really insist on satisfying your childish, idiotic curiosity, then just know this. Having my soul ripped from my body was the most painful thing that I have ever experienced. I did not know that pain could be so complete or overwhelming. Not being able to do anything about it was even worse. Now be silent and go speak with the sage.
Ah, there you...
Do we have to hear the bad news?
I'm afraid that they go hand in...
Let's hear the good news.
Well, to begin with, we have found...
What's the bad news?
The bad news, I'm afraid, is that the artifact you need to put Vair back into his own body is rather far away, and may not actually be where we think it is. You see, while investigating, I've done it myself on the problems, for all we know, removed to address. It can only do so on a...
Will that be enough?
Yes, though the rod was last. Without getting into too many... There have not... If not, then they may have an idea of... Oh, and one last thing. One of our occultists was able to identify those grinning creatures that you have encountered. They are called Gru, and are part of a large, mysterious category of creatures commonly called Starspawn. Whatever their purpose is here, the few times the Starspawn... How they came here is unknown, but I suspect that you have found the cult of the Old Ones, which may explain why the man in the mask was interested in the devil cultists you found in Adros Tower. They would likely have similar goals and could be using similar resources.
The sage seems to be fairly composed, but he could be concealing something. It's hard to say.
Thank you for the information.
Limited as a... Keep this with you as you travel. You can use this to contact me from anywhere in Faerun at any time. If you're in dire trouble, or if you encounter something that might be very interesting to me, use that. Otherwise, abuse this privilege and I will sever the connection permanently. Now go down to the docks and you will find passage on a ship heading north. Good luck.
Need a lift? Need a lift?
The voyage north is long, and you discover an intense dislike of the sea, as you find yourself repeatedly clutching the ship's railing and spewing out various meals into the waves. As the voyage continues, the air also grows colder, as settlements and cities along the coast become fewer and far between. By the time the captain tells you that your destination is near, you have already started counting how many seconds it takes for your puke to freeze against the hull of the ship. Looking up from the railing, though, you see a dark shape looming through the blowing snow, and something about it that has nothing to do with the cold causes you to shiver.
Ah, I see the prison inspector has caught your eye. Best hope you don't find yourself going there any time soon, unless you have business.
What is that place?
It's called Rivel's End, in Harp's name if ever there was one, as I've not known anywhere bleaker or more devoid of joy. And there is a prison built to hold the worst criminals that mankind has to offer. Whether the sorry souls stuck in there deserve it or not, well, I can't say.
Again, prisons. How is it that humans are so taken with prisons, cells, and confining each other?
Why build something like that all the way out here?
Well, the nice and fancy folk don't want no reminders of the dirty and dangerous people that they've locked up. So they put them as far from civilization as you can imagine. Care Dineval notwithstanding.
What is that place?
It's called Rivel's End, in Harp's name if ever there was one.
Again, prisons.
How much farther until port?
Not much farther at all. See, just keep heading along that there path and you'll find your way to Care Dineval. Not much of a place for southerners, between the cold and the rough company, but you'll find shelter from the blizzards, and food. Good luck, wherever your journey takes you.
Oh, what a miserable place.
How are you cold? I can hear you shivering. That doesn't make sense. I'm the one who has to walk through this.
Oh, maybe because I am not simply a passive observer, and I'm actually sharing your body. How many times must I explain this?
Right, but shivering? Thought you needed your own body for that.
Never mind. Why would anyone choose to live in such a dismal part of the world?
Judging by what the captain said along the way, people who either don't want to be found, or have nowhere else to go.
Lovely. Well, if we are to keep our visit as brief as possible, I would suggest finding the nearest bartender or such who might have heard rumors of a giant.
After a dragon destroyed most of what was known as 10 towns, Caer Dineval's residents built this castle as a last protection in case such a disaster should come again. It is not nearly large enough to fit the entire town's population, but it does make for a tidy and secure residence for the local lord and his family.
If that bump don't pay his tabs soon, I'll close down the bar. That'll get half the town
Haven't
on
seen
his
you around
case.
before. What do you want?
Friendly.
Have you heard anything about a storm giant in the area? I'm looking for one that's supposed to live nearby.
Storm giant? That ain't like a frost giant? Or do you mean a stone giant? Because we got plenty of those up on our spine. I sometimes wander this way to hunt and raid.
No, I mean storm giant.
And I've got nothing for you. Though you could always ask Kelly, Goat Kicker. She's been around a fair amount, one of those adventurer types, always looking for mercenary work and places to explore. You can usually find her down by the lakeside docks.
What can you tell me about this town?
Other than it being a hive of scum and villainy, you got the castle up the hill, the lake we fish knucklehead trout out of when it's not frozen over. And that's about it. All that's left after the rest of 10 towns after the incident some years back. Even the rogues of the world don't want to stay here if they can help it.
What incident?
Great white dragon came through. His breath was so cold, it froze the sap in the trees so hard the wood exploded. Shattered people as they tried to flee. Took a band of adventurers hired from Columshan to finally kill the thing. But by the time they did, 10 towns was in ruins. Everyone just congregated here in the end, since Caer Dineval had the least damage, though that's not saying much.
Have you had any...
It's Icewind Dale. People go missing in the storms all the time, and monsters come down from the mountains and the tundra every day. Still, if you mean anything outside of that, no. Can't say as I've heard anything. People who get lost in the storms are either found within a week, alive, or turned into a walker. And the monsters are the same as ever. Then again, I did hear that something's been going on with the dwarves up in, Kelvin's Cairn. Lots of rumors and stories coming from them, though I don't think they've had any misfortune themselves. Just heard things through the grapevine.
So long.
Seriously? You're not even gonna buy a meal or a room? If that bump don't pay his tabs soon, I'll close down the bar. That'll get half the town on his case.
Are you Helia?
And who wants to know?
My name is Katra, and I'm looking for a storm giant that's supposed to live in the Dale. Have you heard of anything like that?
Storm giant. Well, I'd be lying if I said I knew exactly what you're on about, but well, my partner and I did see something right queer in the mountains about a month back, and it was definitely giant and definitely stormy at the time.
Any details you can give me?
Hi, there's a trail on the opposite side of this lake, right across from us. That goes up into the mountains, as called the Spine. A blizzard started blowing around one of the peaks in particular just a few years before I showed up here. Never let up once, nor moved. Storm just sits there, blowing away. My partner and I, we thought we'd go see if anything were up that way. Thought maybe we'd find some magic item or a wizard or something causing the storm. Maybe knock some sense into them or get some loot from the expedition.
And what does this have to do with the giant?
I'm getting there! So, after about an hour marching through the storm, we hear this voice in the blizzard saying, "Turn back!" and "You'll die here!" and some such. We weren't about to pack it in, though. Thing is, the snow was getting so thick and high around us, we could hardly even walk, and it was getting dark. We tried to find shelter, but just kept getting turned around in the storm, and we were getting right cold. Cold to the point you don't feel no cold no more. Wasn't until I hit the ground and everything started going bright. But then, next thing I know, I'm awake. My toes and fingers hurt something fierce from the frostbite, and my whole body was stiff, but we'd been taken all the way down the mountain to a little cave, and someone had even set up a fire for us. But here's the kicker. There weren't no... 'Twere the wildest thing I ever seen, and I still ain't been able to figure it out.
She seems sincere about this story, at least for the most part. A few embellishments here and there, but the core of it and many of the details ring true to your ear.
You said like a mum. You mean the face was a woman's?
Oh, aye. Far as I could tell. Real flat. Smash nose. Though, but I was about delirious from the cold, so don't take that part of the story too...
Where's your partner now?
Mikkel. Oh, the cowardly bum had enough of adventuring after that incident. He's working as a miner up in Kelvin's Khan, with a bunch of our kinsmen now.
Any advice for someone looking to climb up there?
Yeah. Don't do it. It was a daft idea, and by all rights, me and my partner should be dead. Might not be so...
Thank you for your time.
Well, that is at least a little promising. What say you, Katra?
It's the only lead we've got at the moment, so it's probably worth investigating.